Hey there, Sound Shapers. This is Nick Johnson. Today we are going to sample our environment using the Roland SP-404 and the DJI Mic 2. This is day 3 of the International Balloon Fiesta in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And so where I took you today is on a sandbar in the middle of the Rio Grande River. So this is fairly close to where all of the balloons launch from the Balloon Fiesta park. And the reason why I brought the microphones is I'm trying to capture the sound of a hot air balloon flying by. It almost sounds like what you just heard, but it's different. It's a big fire cannon, like propane fire cannon, that shoots a huge flame into this hot air balloon that's being suspended in the sky from the hot air of the propane. So the cool thing of living here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, I've lived here my whole life. So I'm used to this Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. And so consider this like a local showing you a new perspective of what we have to offer here every year in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The sound of that, of a hot air balloon passing over your head, is pretty unique because of that. So let's see if we can capture that today. Right now, I'm setting up a sample that's more subtle. Let's start it with a calm tone is what I was thinking. So here we go, recording our first sample. As I clicked on, that means that was the completion of our first sample recorded. All those effects that it had on it got disengaged, and that's what we heard there. So now I have the option of putting more effects onto it and finding a new effect or just recording. But you hear that? That's a hot air balloon. Let's go ahead and sample it. So there we go. That was our second sample, and mission accomplished already. We captured the hot air balloon right there. So now for our third pattern. Looks like we're gonna add some interesting effects. You know, every single one of these combinations of microphone recording and effect is interesting, right? And you never know how it's going to be placed in music. But it looks like I just turned up the microphone using the knob on the bottom of the Roland SP-404 to give you guys a little more detail of what I'm listening to. So here we go, going to find a new effect to apply to this new sample. There we go. Sounds like some delay. The Kodama delay, specifically. It's like a signature Roland SP-404 delay, I'm pretty sure. And then alongside that Kodama delay, I'm adding a new effect on top of it, or alongside of it, which sounds like an EQ. I'm currently EQing the mid frequencies. Setting the length. I believe each one of these samples is 8 bars in length. And then before we record, I'm adding a third effect using the input effects section. This allows you to put an effect straight onto the input before the other two, like master effects, the MFX, get applied. So Technically, this is the very first effect in the chain. So here we go. I just hit the record button. And there we go. We are now recording our third sample. So that gave you a little time-lapse view of the morning, allowed you to see more time in the span of one sample, you know, a sample being recorded. Sounds like we have a helicopter approaching. So far, I've been hearing birds. I've heard a little distant chatter. And as we get farther into the morning, we're going to hear more sounds from vehicles, a lot more sounds from the city. And so every moment is a new opportunity to capture a different sample. And that's what's so exciting about this whole process, is when you hit record, you don't know what you're going to capture. You have an idea because of what happened in the past, but the present, there's nothing like the present, right? So here we go, getting ready to record our fourth sample. There's some birds. It sounds like there's some delay on those birds. It makes it extra interesting. And those effects get recorded right onto the sample that I record onto the pad. Yep. I was thinking I was gonna start recording because once you hear those birds, you know something's gonna happen. Let's go ahead and record. There we go. Someone just said, "Wow, perfect," and then laughed. Wow, that one really told a story. I heard camera clicking. I heard that lady saying, "Wow, perfect," and I think it was because that blue balloon eclipsed the sun. So yeah, there was a lot of activity there, all stirred up by the birds at first, right? The reason why I hit record on that last one was I heard all those birds starting to really chime in, and then we captured that whole moment. Here we go, about to record the next thing after this plane finishes passing by. Oh, not even waiting. Here we go. Let's take a listen. You had a good amount of bird activity in there, and the sounds of the hot air balloons in that one was much more vivid. And then, of course, you had the Kodama delay in there, and can't go wrong at that point. Looks like I'm EQing, adding some effects for the next pad. Wonder what we're going to capture next. Oh, looks like I'm turning up the microphone volume so we could all get a more detailed picture of what we're hearing. So there we go. On to surfing for a nice effect. I mean, this process really just comes down to like, all right, how much high end do you want? How much low end do you want? And then what flavor of low end or high end do you prefer? And then of course you can get fancy with it, add delay. And the thing about adding delay to a sample though, is it's usually in a certain timing. So if you're trying to add it to music later on, that might not be the smartest decision, because if you're in a different tempo and you try to add that sample, it might not work rhythmically. So here's a new view of the morning. I decided to, try out my editing skills a little bit. And this balloon you're seeing here is a live action balloon of one of the balloons that were in the sky this morning. I like the pattern on it. Reminded me of the river that I'm sitting next to. But yeah, we're currently recording another sample onto a pad. So yeah, we're capturing hot air balloons in every single sample here. So, if we consider this a mission already accomplished. But hold on, is what I just said in the video. Mission not fully accomplished, because I remember I was hearing wind rustling in the microphones. There was wind starting to blow through the channel of the river. You can see the river to the right, kind of where I'm walking. Yep, so I got up to put the wind muff on the microphones. I'm about to put the wind muff on the right channel microphone. And yeah, here we go, walking over to the left. I'm coming back. I'm like wiping my hands like crazy because I don't want to get sand on the beat maker. But yeah, here we go, back in action. Let's go ahead and turn the microphone signal on. Turn down the microphone signal. There we go. You can hear balloons currently. As soon as I started recording, that helicopter started flying in. I think I just canceled the recording. But yeah, we'll wait until this helicopter flies by. There we go. Much more calm. As someone sneezes. Alright, here we go. Recording sample number 5. captured a few balloons in that one as well. Looks like I'm deciding to make another adjustment to the mic setup. If you notice the microphone that's clipped onto the tree, the wind is blowing the tree and then the sticks are rustling against each other. And so I don't want to continue to record that sound in each sample. You get a sense of like what you're capturing on each pad. And yeah, I just don't think it's smart to get that rustling in multiple pads. But check it out. Here's the microphone. You're coming with me. Going by the river's edge over here. Yeah, that's me switching the water. So I could prove to you I was by the river. Stick this mud. But yeah, I found a stick. And I put the stick in the mud. And I clipped the microphone to that stick so it wouldn't get all muddy. And I looked to my right, and there was a frog. It was sitting right next to the stick, and I'll show you the frog right here. There he is, right next to the microphone. It's a cool thought, thinking that the frog could make a noise at any moment, and the mic would be right there. But yeah, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make sure the microphone is in range of this receiver that I'm holding in my right hand. So I'm trying to like raise the receiver of the microphones a little higher so the signal could be a better signal between transmitter and receiver. The transmitter is the microphone, the receiver is what's plugged in to the Roland SP-404 in my hand. But yeah, I'm faced with the trick here. How am I going to hold this receiver and the beat maker and press record all at the same time without it going out of range, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what does that look like? But yeah, it looks like we're about to give it a try. Make sure it's all connected. And here we go. Beautiful sight, right? This was earlier in the morning. The earlier you get there, the more there's this nice fog just rolling right over top of the water. As the sun rises, it makes the fog more noticeable. And so right here is one of my favorite views of the morning. And the sample we're recording at the moment suits it nicely. So as we close out one of our final samples of the day, I hope you've enjoyed listening to this environment. I mean, one could say there's a lot of noise in these samples, but I think it's a really cool like reflection of a time and a place. I mean, we're sitting on a sandbar in the middle of a Rio Grande River. And yeah, so if you've enjoyed this, I think it's pretty cool. You guys hit the like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.